What's going on, everybody? Today is November 21st, 2012. I'm Kevin Sixen Carlino. This is the 10th episode of my Blizzard All-Stars Series. Today's actually the day before Thanksgiving, so for those of you that celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. If you don't celebrate it, well, you can have yourself a great day too. There's nothing stopping you. Anyway, today's episode is going to be all about the interface of Blizzard All-Stars. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to do a little bit of a review and some analysis, comparison between other MOBA and RTS games like League of Legends, Heroes of Newerth, Dota, in addition to a little bit of comparison between StarCraft 2. So I'm going to be basing this all off of some screenshots that I've gotten a hold of, so why don't we go ahead and take a look. So first things first, I'm going to be splitting the UI up into 5 different sections, although I guess technically 6. So number 1 is going to be the scoreboard up here, number 2 is going to be the minimap down here, 3 will be your main kind of information pane, where it shows obviously your health and mana, etc., your backpack kind of a thing. 4 is going to be this left-hand side over here, where it shows your actual hero information, 5 being the shop interface, and then of course 6 being kind of just this empty space here that I'm going to talk about, and here. So again, when we start from the beginning, the first thing I want to talk about is the scoreboard. So as you guys can see, it's very different than most other games. Very clearly, you can see total gold per team in addition to the game timer. Now, that's something I want to talk a little bit about. They're actually showing total gold per team rather than your total kills per team, which is, again, very different. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is current total gold or if it's total gold over time. Obviously, both have the pros and cons. For example, current total gold, if they're saving up and they have pretty high gold, well, then you can probably see or read that they're actually going to be buying themselves some artifacts, which cost quite a bit of gold. Now, vice versa, if they have a little bit of current gold, that means they probably have already spent it. In the case of total current gold, over the entire course of the game, you can pretty much just gauge how far ahead or behind you are in terms of farming, because you can still get gold from jungling or killing the jungle camps. You can still get gold from getting takedowns. Again, I do want to mention this. I did talk about it briefly in the first episode. I'll mention it again. Kills and assists were removed from the game. They were combined into this takedown system where you actually just get credit for the kill if you're in the area and you kind of sort of health. I don't know exactly how they're going to be doing this, but for example, heroes like Omni Knight from Dota, or a bad example, so Dazzle, would not really get an assist or gold from getting a kill just because he didn't really take part in it. All he did was heal. So anyway, this new takedown system is a little bit different. Like I said, I talked about this more in episode 1, so I'm just going over it again. But anyway, instead of showing the takedowns and the scoreboard, they're actually, like I said, showing the total gold for your team. So this is very different. I'm curious as to how this is going to work out. But like I said, both of those different scenarios have their own pros and cons. Now, number 2 here, again, is going to be the minimap. Now, as you can see right here is a nice little ping button. This, I'm guessing, is the BattleNet interface, your social tab. But again, we've got the minimap in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Now, as a Dota player, this is very odd for me. It seems like League of Legends has been doing this, the right-hand screen minimap, or right-hand side of the screen for the minimap. But otherwise, I believe Heroes of Newerth uses the left-hand side. Dota and Dota 2 both use the left-hand side. StarCraft 2 itself uses the left-hand side. So, as a Dota player, this is new to me. I guess anybody that plays League of Legends is not really going to have to worry about this much. But again, minimap on the right-hand side of the screen, taking a page out of League of Legends book. The next thing we've got here, like I said, is your backpack / spell thing, category, section, whatever you want to call it. You can see your health bar here. You can see your mana bar here, again with the text as well. We also, like I was saying, you've got your different spells, 4 different spells here. You've got your backpack with 4 different slots here. Now, in the very center, we can see two buttons here, a B and a T. I'm assuming B is maybe blink or base, and T, I'm guessing, is for mount, as you can see, by the little foot icon. So I'm guessing this one right here is going to let you mount up, and this one here seems to be some kind of teleport back to town, auto spell kind of a thing. So instead of selling town portal scrolls, they're going to have that instead. Now I'm just, that's just an educated guess kind of a thing. Take that little piece with a grain of salt. Not 100% sure. So again, take that with a grain of salt. On to the next section, we've got this little stat screen where it shows our current defense here. It shows our current attack here, and again our mastery here. So it's damage, it's mastery, and it was defense or armor. Pretty straightforward. It also shows our total gold, our experience bar, and a nice little avatar here with our hero. Pretty cool stuff. So this last section, or the fifth section, sorry, is actually going to be the shop section. So you can see a nice little shop button over here in the top left-hand corner of the screen. And of course it opens up this nice little shop interface. Again, they're able to get away with this just because there's only, I don't know, 20 or so different items. So again, the shop interface, pretty neat. It shows us our current gold in the interface itself, and then of course they've got everything categorized pretty clearly. So again, this is as of BlizzCon 2011. Things may or may not have changed. I'm not 100% sure, but I do want to point out something, and this might be pretty cool to look at. Now, obviously, this isn't 100% necessary, but I do think it's pretty cool to see. So again, like I was saying, this is the BlizzCon 2011 screenshot. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the BlizzCon 2010 screenshot? Wow. So it's changed completely. As you can see, they're really just borrowing the StarCraft 2 interface. Well, they kind of borrowed the StarCraft 2 interface and added on like Warcraft 3 styling to it. So we've still got all the StarCraft 2 stuff pretty much exactly the same, and then they've kind of just overlaid like these Warcraft 3 style images right on top, you know, with the little gates and the flags and everything. And then of course they just threw this here for your spells. And as you can see, here's that blink spell back again. And then of course we have our unit information there, but otherwise everything else is still exactly the same. You can see your main nav bar up here. Your minerals are still here, so they didn't even get a chance to replace that with gold yet. So it's very interesting. And why don't we take a look again at BlizzCon 2011. Very, very organized, a lot less cluttered. I actually like this. I prefer this. It's much, much more minimalistic than BlizzCon 2010. So I like the changes that they made. Again, this is only over the course of a year, so pretty cool stuff. And this very last section I wanted to talk about right here and right here is just simply open space. Yes, I understand that, and actually I guess technically right here as well. It's all open space, and I'm going to highlight this part here too. My point here being these are all places that we can use as tournament organizers or casters or even players for, you know, our personal overlays. You know, you can have a webcam, maybe if we want to have two webcams here and here, and you can have your logo here, you can have your own personal score thing here, you know, for match details, etc. So Blizzard did a really great job with the All-Stars interface. Again, it's very minimalistic. I like that a lot. But at the same time, there's also nice little gaps of, you know, open spaces for us players, commentators, casters, etc. To input our own overlays into the system. So I feel like they really, you know, kept that in mind while creating this interface. Now the next thing that I wanted to talk briefly about, very briefly, was the character selection screen. Now we're going to take a look at, you know, the 2011 and the 2010 selection screens as well. So first, of course, well, actually, we're doing this backwards. So pretend you didn't see that. Alright, hey, look, it's BlizzCon 2011. So the BlizzCon 2011 score screen, or character selection screen is right up here. As you can see, it's very, very nicely done. Pretty organized. Again, they can get away with this just because there are 12 different heroes, so they've got it organized pretty well into the nice 4 little categories. In addition, you're able to pick your hero color. You're also able to random a hero. It also shows your 4 spells here with a very brief description of your actual role and your kind of like main like your main thing, I guess, like your theme, you know, like the Witch Doctor is also going to be summon minions or something along those lines. So pretty cool stuff. Again, so you just select it on this side, you pick your hero, you can see who your teammates have picked, and actually that reminds me, I want to touch on one more thing on the main interface before I forget. So you can see who your teammates have picked, the game starts, etc. Again, like I said, I want to show off BlizzCon 2010. This is the old style. You select your heroes here, you click the select button to confirm it. It also shows all of your spells, a nice little hero avatar, or like your model, in-game model. Shows your information there. I actually really like this. It kind of shows the lore for each of the heroes. That's really cool. This is actually missing in the 2011 style. So I'm curious as to how they're going to make up for that. Also looks like we have a team name here. Interesting. I'm going to have to look more into that. Interesting. So anyway, this was the 2010 style. This is the 2011 style. This is the most recent style. Again, like I said, I wanted to touch on one more thing before I forgot. On the main interface, so as you can also see, in games like Dota, you actually have your teammates and your enemies in bars here and here. Now this is actually missing. Whether or not they're going to add that is obviously still to be seen, but I wanted to point that out. while I do, like I was saying earlier, love the All-Stars interface, that seems like something that's missing, and it's kind of interesting to me. As a Dota player, I like looking up at the screen and seeing, oh, hey, you know, these are my teammates, and I can, and especially because they have the color bars, so I can just match the color to the minimap icon and not have to worry about anything. Or my enemies, I can say, oh, look, Pudge is coming, I better run. Or, oh, it's Puck, well, I can take Puck pretty easily. So very interesting. Maybe they add it, maybe they don't. You actually have to keep this stuff in mind. You know, making more strategy for you, well, just more for you to remember. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to wrap up today's episode. Like I said, nice little analysis, a little bit of a review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channels, follow me on Twitter @Sixen, all great stuff. I've got more content coming. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the interfaces, you know, the differences between 2010 and 2011, and actually let me know what you think as far as, you know, your opinions on how they decide to lay this out. I think it's pretty cool, but like I was also just mentioning, there's nothing showing both teams' heroes to the top as a player. So interesting stuff. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Next week's episode is going to be really cool. It's going to be an esports feature kind of a thing. We're going to be talking about the esports features in the game. I'm going to be talking about technical aspects, pretty much like a huge Q&A. Should be good. Esports stuff, technical stuff. Like I said, should be really good. If you're interested in the game, definitely check that out. I'm going to be covering, like I said, lots of questions that people have been asking. So anyway, guys, that's it for today's episode. Happy Thanksgiving, and take it easy. See you guys next time.